Yes, ma'am. Very good evening to all of you. Every day, morning and evening. And timings also can be increased after few days because we have to complete the syllabus on time. Okay. Definitely, we will tell you that every concept and question on paper, not only from my side, all other faculties also will say in the same way. Definitely, it will take more time than our announced time. So that's why we have to increase the timings also. After SFM starting now, then we can increase it. So no, this is only the same schedule we can follow. Yes. Online. Very good evening. I don't know how many of you are watching the classes. I think first day all are attending, right? Then after the things will be diverted like anything. Yes. Very good evening to all of you. Yes, sir. Now we can start our discussion, right? In earlier session, we discussed the income tax rates. Next month, surcharge rates. Next one, health and education says completely we discussed. But in this income tax rate, what are the tax rates are applicable with respect to normal incomes only we discussed. If you observe, only we discussed tax rates with respect to the normal incomes. So some of the SSEs can follow the any of the regime. Some of the SSEs only have one regime. But now our discussion will turn to the special incomes related special tax rates. Shall we start, Ra? So already I have a notes. So some of the classes will directly start with the already written notes. Some of the classes we can write. If you want to write it down, I will give an time. Otherwise, after the class, I will share this file to you. Okay. Shall we start? Yes. So now we have to start our discussion with respect to what special tax rates. If you observe, the special tax rates are applicable for whom? All SSEs. Can you tell me all SSEs means? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, company. For all SSEs required to pay the tax on special incomes by using the special tax rates only. Irrespective of the what regimes. I will tell you simple example. I will give a separate time, just listen. Okay. After the explanation of this special tax rate, I will give a separate time for copying everything. Please listen first. Okay. I'm an individual. I'm following the default tax regime under section 202. What is the default tax regime? 202. Now tell me, with respect to normal incomes, I can follow 202 rates. If I have any special incomes, I have to follow the what? Special tax rate. Okay, example. If I am following the optional tax rate, if I am following the what? Optional tax rate. I am an individual. I am opting out from the default. That's why I am following the what? Optional. Normal incomes related, I will apply normal tax rate. Special incomes related, I will apply the special tax rate. Super. Now, if company also, company can follow the normal tax rates or what concessional. Normal incomes related, that regimes okay, but special incomes always they have to follow the what special tax rates. Now I will give you the some special tax rate in the basic concept chapter itself. We can expect definitely MCQ from this stuff. Okay, that capital gain incomes, special tax rate taxable incomes only. First, that is only we have to discuss. Next, we have a few more. Okay, I'm starting with the A till homonima H. These are all our incomes required to taxable with the special tax rates in the hands of all the SSEs. In the hands of whom? All the SSEs. Now, first we'll start with the capital gains. Okay, if you know already, just listen. If any capital asset, what is that ma? If any capital asset, if it is transferred, if it is what ma? Transfer, definitely SSE required to calculate what ma? Capital gain. In the year of transfer, he required to calculate the capital gain. So this is a nothing but what ma income. Capital gain means it is an income. On this income, we have to apply the what tax rates. So mostly, what is the tax rates? We have to use the special tax rates. Mostly, okay, we have to use the what ma special tax rate. Now, if this capital asset is an short-term capital asset, in future chapters I will tell you when you can give the status as a short term, when you can give the status as a long term. In further chapters we can discuss. Okay, if this asset is what ma short term capital asset, so now you will get which capital gain ra? Short term capital gain. If the capital asset is an long term capital asset, now what is that capital gain we can get ma? Long term capital gain. This knowledge already you know. Okay, based on this we'll discuss the capital gains are there, and on this capital gain what is the tax rate we are going to apply also we can discuss in detailed way. Shall we? First, I want to target the short term capital gains. What is that? Short term capital gain. Now I'm taking the three assets only. What are the three capital assets? Listed, read along with me, listed equity shares. Next one, units of equity oriented mutual fund. Again repeat, units of equity oriented mutual fund. Next one, units of business trust. Sir, if these three assets are short term capital assets, if these three assets are what ma? Short term capital assets. Okay, simple example. I invested in the Reliance company shares. Can you tell me Reliance is listed? Yes. Listed equity shares. I invested in the one mutual fund. That mutual fund reinvested entire funds in the equities of other companies. Okay, we are all our unit holders. We invested in the mutual fund. Mutual fund reinvested that amount in the equity of other companies. That units are called as what ma? Equity oriented mutual fund. So we have one separate chapter in the assessment of various entities, that is a business trust, the same concept. We can invest in business trust. Business trust will reinvest that funds in the Indian companies. Okay, one Indian company. That means these are all our investments for the SSC. Definitely, I'm investing in somewhere. First one is a listed equity share. Second one, equity oriented mutual fund. Third one, units of business trust. Okay. But these are the short term capital asset in your hands. Okay. Short term capital asset. On this, if you calculated the gain, that is what gain? Short term capital gain. Now, the short-term capital gain is required to tax under which section ma? 196. Earlier act given the section number 111A. Now what is the section number? 196. There is no alternative. You have to remember. Okay, again we can recollect these section numbers also. Please repeat along with me. What are the three short-term capital assets? As I said, we have to remember listed equity shares, units of equity oriented mutual fund, units of business trust. Simply for an SSC, these are investments. If these investments are short-term capital asset, that means within a less time, if you transfer these investments, that short-term capital gain is required to tax under 196 section. Can you tell me what is the taxability at the rate of what? 20%. What is the rate? 20%. Sir, in simple words, these three assets, we can call it as financial assets also. These three we can call it as what? Financial assets. Okay, now, other than these three, we have many capital assets that to short term. Example, yesterday I purchased gold. Now today I want to sell. Now that gold is short-term capital asset or long-term in my hands? Short-term. Okay, 2 months back I purchased one house. Now I am selling that house. That is also what ma short-term. Then remaining short-term capital assets, if anything is there, yes, on that if you calculated the gain, that is called as an other short-term capital gain other than 196 section. Okay, that means other than these 3 short-term capital asset, all are covered in the next point. Okay, all are covered in the what ma? Okay, definitely I will share the PDF ma. Okay, so listen, other short-term capital assets, if anything is there, that other short-term capital asset gain is called as what ma? Other short-term capital gain. It is required to tax with the normal tax rate. That means if I am following default tax regime rates, if I am following optional. Many students are remembering entire capital gains are taxable with the special tax rate. That sentence is wrong. Why? These 3 only taxable with the special tax rate. This is taxable with the what? Normal tax rates only. That means short-term capital gains are broadly taxable by using the 2. First one 196, other than 196 simply. 196 tax rate 20%. Other than 196, whatever the short-term capital gain is there, taxable with the normal tax rates. Taxable with the what? Normal tax rate. Are you clear? Okay. In exam, they will not say whether it is 196 other than 196. If they given the gold, if they given the land, if they given any diamonds, etc. That is what here. If they given these 3 short-term capital asset, what is the section number? 196. Now tell me, short-term capital gains always taxable with the special tax rates. This sentence is right or wrong? Wrong. Why? 196 is taxable with the special tax rate. Other than 196, short-term capital gains are taxable with the normal tax rates. Clear? Here normal means what? Whatever the regime you are going to follow, that is only. Now, long-term capital gain we'll discuss. Okay. I think these 3 assets already we know. What are the 3 assets? Here we discussed. Repeat along with me. Listed equity shares, units of equity oriented mutual fund, units of business trust. If these 3 assets are long-term capital asset in your hands, if you transfer this long-term capital asset, you have to calculate long-term capital gain under section what? 198. Previously 112A. Previously what is the section? 112A. That means if these assets are short-term, 196. If these assets are long-term, 198. What is the tax rate? 12.5%. Basic exemption limit how much? 1,25,000. Suppose if you have an 10 lakh long-term capital gain under section 198, out of that 1,25,000 is basically exempt. Balance how much? 8,75,000 taxable with the what? 12.5%. Basic exemption means it should be reduced while you are taxing such income. Clear? Okay. Any other long-term capital asset? Can you give me examples? Any other means land, building, any capital asset other than these 3, that capital asset is what? Long-term. What is the tax rate? 12.5. What is the section number? 197. Sir, if you remember 196, 197, 198, this is an order. But you have to remember 196, 198 on same capital asset. If it is short term, 196. If it is long term, 198. Clear? All of you? Okay. Just now. Okay. Just I will recall it again. Tell me, listed equity shares. Okay. Next, don't write it down. Units related to equity oriented mutual fund. Next one, ma. Units of business trust. Suppose if these are short term capital asset, if these are long term capital asset. Now we have to calculate short term capital gain. Here we have to calculate long term capital gain. Clear? Okay. In middle I will write it down. So what is the section number 196 here, ma? 197, right? No, 198. What is the tax rate? 20%. What is the tax rate? 12.5. What is the basic exemption limit? 1 lakh. 1,25,000. Now. That means other than these three. Okay. Any short-term capital asset, any other short-term capital asset, any other short-term capital asset. We have to calculate what short-term capital gain, right? But this isn't taxable with the what, ma? Normal tax rates. What is that? Normal tax rate. So any other long-term capital asset. Can you tell me any other long-term capital asset? We have to calculate which capital gain? Long-term capital gain. This is under section 197, taxable at the rate of what? 12.5%. Okay. That means in capital gains, one capital gain is also taxable with the what? Normal tax rate. That too long term or short term? Short term capital gain, yes, other than 196 is taxable with the what? Normal tax rate. Okay. Can you tell me the previous sections? It is an, yes ma, I am highlighting with the pink color. It is an 111A. It is an what, ma? 112A. It is an what, ma? 112. It is what? Short term capital gain other than 111A only. This is what, ma? Short term capital gain other than 111A. Now we are calling it as an short term capital other than 196. Clear? Please write it down slowly. I will give an time, no problem. First understood. My special tax rate all are done. Only capital gain chapter done. Only capital gain chapter related special tax rate taxable incomes only. Now we discussed. Give the heading special tax rate. Then after please copy. I will scroll it down quickly. It is copied. Please let me know. Then we can discuss the remaining special tax rates. What are the sections covered as of now? 196, 197, 198. At the end of this chapter, we'll discuss all the sections at once. If you remember, that will be revision only. Shall we? Slowly you can copy, no problem. We haven't time up to 6. Slowly you can copy. If you haven't notes in your handwriting, automatically revision can be done in a quick manner. Okay, if it is in my handwriting, okay, you can complete the revision, but up to what extent depend upon your reading only. Shall we? Slowly you can do. No problem. So remember these as a set 196, 198 as a set, because on the same capital asset, if it is short term 196, if it is long term 198. So here it is an 197, and this doesn't have any section number taxable with the normal tax rate. Clear? All of you. వాళ్ళు రాస్తున్నారు రాయనమ్మా different colors use. Syllabus progresses, no, then we can give the weekend syllabus. One chapter or half of the chapter, no, then we can give weekend syllabus. That is a normal. Dana, now listen, second special income, winnings from what ma? Listen, lotteries, crossword puzzles, races, including what ma? Horse races. Remember, don't write it down it as a race horses. What is that ma? Races including horse races. Next, gambling, betting, etc. Simply in shortcut, I will call this as an winnings from casual activities. What is that? Winnings from casual activities. These are all the incomes are required to tax under which head ma? Income from other sources. But while taxing these incomes, you have to apply the special tax rate. What is the tax rate ma? 30. What is the section number? 194. Previously 115 BE, 115 B, 115 BB is there. Forget about that. Now they given simple section number what? 194. Clear? This is a second special income we discussed in this session. What is that? Winnings from casual activities are required to tax with the 30% under which section ma? 194. Please copy it. Previously we discussed capital gain related special tax rate. Now we discuss income from other sources related special tax rate. Clear? Rana? Here very important ma, don't change this as an race horses. You have to write it down it as an horse races only. In return of income chapter, I will try to tell the difference between these two. Okay, next chapter definitely. Even though if you forget also, I will recall it and I will tell you what is the difference between horse races and race horses. Here what is the word you have to remember? Horse races. Third one, shall we start ma? Third one, income from transfer of what ma? Virtual digital asset. Okay, bitcoins as well as cryptocurrency, etc. We can call it as an virtual digital asset. If you transfer this virtual digital asset to others, you can get some income. Example, if you purchase it with some amount, if you are selling for higher amount, definitely you can get what income. That income required to taxable with the what rate 30%. Many students are doing the mistake. Listen, I will give in time first. Okay. Many students are saying, sir, virtual digital asset, capital assets, sir. Okay. So capital gain. No. Separately, they given the section and the tax rate for the, if any income you got on the transfer of what virtual digital asset. Remember, don't consider this as an capital gain income. Yes, what is the tax rate? 30%. But they given same section number. Yes. But 194 given one table. Within the table, point number 1, 2, 3, many points they mention. It is on one point, it is a next point. Okay, 194. Next, net winnings from the online games. So definitely, these are all our casual incomes. But one more danger casual income is there. Online games related winnings. So now, in old act also, they taxed this amount. Yes, here also they taxed, but here they are using the word what net winnings. So whatever that amount you use it to play the game and how much you won, that net amount only required to tax with the what rate 30%. What is the section? Same. So if you observe B point, C point, D point, if you observe B, C, D, taxable with the same rate and under the same section. Okay. Now, please copy these three, B, C, D. But definitely you can get one MCQ from the special incomes as well as special tax rates. Clear? Capital gain we discussed. Next, winnings from casual activities we discussed. Next one, income arises from transfer of virtual digital asset we discussed. Next, net winnings from the online games also we discussed. Next, yes, we can discuss the two more points now. Yes, that if you have a patent, example, this is an intangible asset, right? Okay. If that patent is developed and registered where India, so that patent developed in India and patent also registered where India, but you are given this patent to others for using, automatically they will give some income to you, right? Because you given some intangible asset to others, so that's why they will give certain income. That income is called as what royalty income. So generally royalty income is taxable under IFOS. Royalty income required to tax under income from other source. But this income also may be taxable under income from other sources. But tax rate is special tax rate. What is that? 10%. So why they are given the 10? Generally in income from other sources, highest slab is what? 30. But we want to encourage the patents to be developed in where India. Example, sir, if anyone is invited or discovered anything newly, we want to encourage them by giving the what less tax rate. So that's why given just what 10%. What is the section number? Same, 194. The act is simplified or not? Yes. If you observe, all the special incomes are they given at one slot. If you observe, 194 to 198, everything is closed. Previously, one section in the another series, another section in another series. We have to group all the things for learning. Now, one time it is difficult to remember, but once they given the all the sections in the same nature at once only. Now, next one, income from transfer of carbon credits, global warming related, it is also like securities only. If you have an carbon credits like security, you can imagine if that is transferred, you have to pay the tax on that income. So nothing but the global warming related. Yes, if you purchase this carbon credits security only, it is not an okay, not a thing, etc. It is also shares and securities like that. If you purchase it for one amount, if you are selling for higher amount, then you will get what? Income. That income is required to taxable with the 10% only, because in order to encourage the investments in which one? Carbon credits. Or if they are given 30% like other, definitely we don't want to invest in this, because even though you got gain also, you have to pay 30% out of that gains as an tax. But now they given just what? 10%. Remember, these two, in order to encourage the what? SSEs, we given just what? 10%. What is the section number? 194. Next, yes, two more things we can discuss. Then after I will given time to copy, listen. Sir, if you have a life insurance business, from that life insurance business, if any profits and gains are arises, so nothing but SSE engaged in the life insurance business, that entire business income is required to tax with the special tax rate, not normal. What is the tax rate? 12.5. Again, these three sections will discuss in the assessment of various entities chapter. We have one chapter in that various entity, life insurance business, but it is a miscellaneous. Roughly we can read and close it, because it is not important in exam point of view. But we can see again, what is the tax rate? 12.5. What is that section number? 194 only again. Next, undisclosed income. In tax rider, income tax rights, if anything is conducted, department can identify the undisclosed income in our hands. Okay, maybe gold, money, etc. They can identify. That amount only called as what? Undisclosed income. If you want to know the meaning of undisclosed income, that is given in the 102 to 106. In this chapter at the end, we can discuss. So if you observe these sections, if AO identified any income under this section, that income is treated as what? Undisclosed income. That is required to tax with the what rate? 30%. Surcharge 25. Next one 4%. Health and education says effective rate is how much? 39. Here only I am discussing the surcharge. Here I am not discussing the surcharge, means whatever the surcharge is applicable for the SSE, that should be added. It isn't just a tax rate. Always for this special tax rate, you have to add what? Surcharge as well as health and education says normally whatever applicable to every SSE. But here why I am mentioning separately, in this section itself they given the surcharge more to the other sections. Can you tell me what is the surcharge? 25. And health and education says 4. Previously this rate is, instead of 30, 60% is there. Now they given just what? 30%. Please, effective rate calculator, 30 plus 25 percentage plus 4%. How much it will be? 30, 39. Calculated. You got how to calculate a safe side? Last time I will tell you, 30 is an tax rate. So on this we have to apply what? 25% is an surcharge. On both the things we have to apply what? 4% health and education says. What is that effective tax rate? 39%. But what is the section number? 195. If you observe the flow of sections in special tax rate, 194, yes, we have different incomes are taxable under 194. Next one 195. Next one 196, 197, 198. So starting from 194, ending with the 198. Clear? Please copy this. More incomes are taxing under which section, ma? 194 only. Please copy it, all of you. Please try to copy. So nothing but here life insurance business conducted by SSC. Yes. If any profits and gains from the life insurance business required to tax with a special tax rate 12.5%, at the rate of 12.5 should be increased by the what ma? Surcharge as well as health and education says under which section? 190. Dana? So now charging section is over. Whatever the charging section discussion we started, we ended the total charging section discussion. Okay, we can recall the charging section again, and whether any point is pending or totally done or not, we can check it out. Clear? Okay. Hmm? Special tax rate started with the 194, and many incomes are taxable under 194. Then after 195 undisclosed income, 196 short term capital gain, 197 long term capital gain, 198 also long term capital gain. These two as I said, because on the same assets, if it is short term capital asset 196, if it is long term capital asset 198. Clear? Now we can go with the charging section. So earlier we written whether everything is covered or not, we can check it out. Okay, what is the charging section number? 4. Okay, if you observe every person, can you tell me person definition we discussed in which section? 2, clause 77. And every person whose total income of the tax year definition given in section 3. Okay, every person total income of the tax year we can compute. If that is exceed the maximum amount not chargeable to tax, that means basic exemption limit. If any person total income and during the tax year, if exceeds the maximum amount not chargeable to tax, now that person can be called as whom? SSC. Now SSC definition we discussed in the section 2 clause 11. Section 2 clause 11. Okay. Now definitely if he becomes SSC, he required to pay the tax in tax year or immediately succeeding to the tax year, immediately succeeding financial year to the tax year. Can you tell me by using the rates? These rates only we discussed in the last 2 sessions. So tax liability we have to compute by using the rates. So tax liability can be aggregation of 3 things: income tax, surcharge, health and education cess. Income tax liability by applying normal tax rate, special tax rates also we discuss. Where we can get these rates? Whatever that relevant finance act is there. What is a finance act for the tax year 2026-27? Finance Act 2026. Finance Act meaning also we discussed in the sources or components of income tax law. So one of the component is an annual finance act that we discussed already. That means whatever that fourth point we started, just now we ended the fourth point in this chapter, that is an charging section. Clearer? Now. So then after we have to start the fifth one. Fourth concept is over. Income tax rates also, surcharge rates also, health and education says special tax rate, all we discussed in the fourth point only. Now we have to start the fifth point. Shall we? Okay, give the heading. What is the concept? Ma? Rebate for whom? Ma? Resident individuals. Sir, earlier I can give the heading. Okay. Yes, sir. So give the heading. What is that? Ma? Rebate for whom? Ma? Resident individuals. Rebate for resident individual. Earlier in old book also, I given the only heading as a rebate. Rebate means discount. It will be helpful for the poor persons while paying the tax, right? For rich persons, who what is the concept is there? Surcharge. Okay. At the time I am given the heading as a rebate, many students are assuming the rebate concept is for all the SSCs. No, they given only rebate for whom? Individuals, that too natural born person, that too residents. A surcharge for all. If you observe, in morning session we discussed surcharge rates for every SSC. But they given rebate only for whom? Resident individuals. What is the section number? 156. Earlier, 87 capital A. Now what is that? 156. A felicitation event will be on September 6th, Sunday. Okay, not for you. In YouTube, one student asked about the felicitation event. It is going to conduct on September 6th. Okay, Sunday. We don't want to disturb our classes right now. That's why we given on September 6th. Definitely, I think nearly 200 Google forms filled. That means online or offline student. 200 students may come for this event along with their parents. Okay. Okay, now what is that? 87 capital A earlier. Now this is what? 156. Clear? Okay. So again I am giving the heading what? Resident individual. Yes. Okay. I am a resident individual. While calculating tax liability, I have an option to follow how many regimes? 2. First one is a default tax regime. What is the section number? 202. Okay, if you are opting out or shift out from this to, yes, normal tax rates or optional tax rate. Listen, I think one of you are already asked this doubt. Remember, in Act, clearly they are saying normal tax rate means optional only. Okay. Normal means what? Optional tax regime only. I think one of you are asked this doubt regarding the TDS deduction. Okay, I think you got the clarity now. Please. Whatever the default tax regime is there, you can follow this. If you want to opt out, if you want to shift out, another regime is there. That is called as what, ma? Optional tax regime, or we can call it as what, ma? Normal tax regime or normal tax rates. Okay. First we'll discuss about if SSE followed the default tax regime. SSE followed the which regime? The default tax regime. What is the rebate? If the total income is less than or equal to how much, mal? Listen, 12 lakh. Then only you are a poor person. Then we are going to give the rebate. They given the limit in the section clearly. What is that? 12 lakh. If your total income is less than or equal to. Okay, in simple words, you can remember total income does not exceed 12 lakh. Equal also, less also, okay. Generally, ma, under which regime now we are discussing the rebate concept? Default tax regime under section 202. Okay. Just I can give the total income as in 12 lakh. What is the total income I have, ma? 12 lakh. SSE is Mr. A is following the default tax regime. What is that? Default tax regime. What is the section number, ma? Under section 202. Now, can you calculate the tax liability by applying the slabs, whatever you know? 0 to 4 lakh nil. Next, 4 lakh to 8 lakh 5% on 4 lakh 5% means how much, ma? 20,000. Next, 8 lakh to 12 lakh, how much, ma? 10%, how much, ma? 40,000. So that means how much amount of tax liability you can get if you are having income of how much, ma? 12 lakh 60,000. How much, ma? 60,000. Listen. That means 0 income to 12 lakh. Maximum. Okay. Income levels I am given 0 to how much, ma? 12 lakh. What is that? Tax also 0 to 60,000. Again I am repeating, right? If your income is 0 to 12 lakh, what is the tax under this regime? Tax also will start from the 0 to 60,000 only, right? Clear? This case, they are clearly saying you can get the rebate. Don't add it. Health and education says. You know, already we written one exact word. Health and education says is an last step in the tax computation, even after removing the rebate. First we have to reduce rebate if SSE is eligible for rebate. Now we have to reduce. What is the rebate? In this provision clearly they given income tax payable or 60,000. Now you know the logic of 60,000. What is the logic? On 12 lakh maximum you can pay how much, ma? 60,000. Income tax payable or 60,000, whichever is lower. Can you tell me income tax payable is how much, ma? 60,000, or act statute given the limit of how much, ma? 60,000, whichever is lower. You can take any 60, first or second also, no problem for me. Then finally you will get what? 0. Instead of this, I can give the one more question. Okay, just I am changing. Mr. B having the total income, you have to tell the answer for this. Having total income just 9.5 lakh. 9 lakh how much, ma? 50,000. Is also following the default tax regime. What is that, ma? Default tax regime under section 11. Control చేసుకున్న ఆగట్లేదు అది. What is that, ma? 202. Okay. What is that? 202. So directly I can say 0. Because of which concept? Rebate concept. Okay, you can't calculate always. Not required to calculate also. If you remember, sir, no one can say you Yes, please calculate tax liability, include rebate. They will give, please calculate what tax liability only. They will give MCQ also, you have to calculate tax liability. They will not give you any hint like apply rebate, etc. Okay, tell me, 0 to 4 lakh, nil, 4 lakh to 8 lakh. What is that? 5%, 20,000. Above 8 lakh, how much is there, 1.5 lakh. What is the percentage? 10%. What is that? 15,000. Total 30. Sir, whether this fellow is eligible for rebate or not? Yes. Why? Total income does not exceed 12 lakh. What is the rebate? Okay. Minus rebate under section, what is that? 156. What is that? Income tax payable. What is that? 35,000. Remember. Income tax payable. We are calling income tax payable, not tax payable. Tax payable means income tax, surcharge, health and education. But here using the word income tax means just income tax rates only we have to apply. Or 60,000 statute given, whichever is lower. How much, 35,000. Finally, tax payable is nil. Understood? Up to now understood? Now, I want to give you the next one, danger case. Okay, Mr. D. Who is that, Mr. D. Having the total income. Don't write it down. Anything is also. These are all your workbook questions only. We can solve again in our workbook. Just listen. Speed అనిపిస్తుందా? అర్థమవుతుందా? స్పీడ్ అనిపిస్తుందా? ఓకే, స్లోగా చెప్పమంటే ఇంకా స్లోగా చెప్పవచ్చు, బట్ ఆల్రెడీ దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ covered in intermediate level. Okay, total income sloga veldamra 12,15,000. How much, 12,15,000. SSE following the default tax regime under section 202. What is that? 202. They are asking the tax liability. They are asking the what, tax liability. They are asking tax liability. Now in your mind, whether he is eligible for rebate or not? No. Why? The total income does not exceed 12 lakh, he can get rebate. But this amount is exceeds how much, 12 lakh. But okay, just we can check it out. Shall we calculate tax liability? Please calculate tax liability, 0 to 4 lakh, nil, right? 4 lakh to, I know how to calculate by using calculator also. Why I will write like this? In exam, in one chapter, double taxation avoidance agreement, you have to calculate tax liabilities. In working notes, you have to mention at least like this. Sir, I know answer how, okay, I can calculate in calculator. But okay, you can't show the answer on calculator to them for getting marks. You have to show the simple computations on paper. Okay, 0 to 8 lakh, how much, 5%, how much, 20,000. Next, 8 lakh to 12 lakh, 10%, that is how much, 40,000. 40,000. The next, 15,000, yes, 15%, how much, 2,250. What is the total? 62,000. They are asking tax of how much? 62,250. Income tax only. I am not adding health and education as also. Just I calculated income tax liability. There is no surcharge here. Why? Individual total income does not exceed 50 lakh. If 50 lakh exceeded, then I can calculate the surcharge. Okay. But provision clearly given. For beneficial purpose, they are saying, if you have an income up to 12 lakh, no need to pay the tax. That is only we discussed, right? Up to 12 lakh, no need to pay the tax. Just I earn the income more than 12 lakh in this example, how much? 15,000 only. I earn the income more than how much, 12 lakh. Okay. That means total income excess over 12 lakh Please tell me how much, ra? Okay, that is 12,15,000 minus 12 lakh. How much, ra? 15,000. Are just I earned 15,000 more. But they are asking how much tax, ra? 62,250. This is a valid, ra, first of all. This is a burden on the SSC only. Sir, up to 12 lakh, you are only saying no need to pay the tax. Just I am earning marginally more than 12 lakh. I am not earning huge amount than the 12 lakh. I am earning marginally. Marginally means a small amount than the 12 lakh limit. But you are asking huge amount of tax. What I earned 15, if you ask this 15,000, I will give it to you only. Department, if ask a tax liability, whatever I earn more than 12 lakh, I will give it to them. But how can I pay the 62,250? Now, in this default tax regime, they given the rebate under marginal relief concept. If your total income marginally exceeding how much, ma? 12 lakh. What is the concept? Rebate under marginal relief concept. We don't want to provide the huge relief. Marginal, a small amount of relief department can provide to that SSCs if total income marginally more than how much, ma? 12 lakh. Can you tell me more than 12 lakh, it is marginally or huge amount? Marginally we earn. So how to calculate the rebate? How to calculate the rebate? Okay, that is only here I given. If your total income less than or equal to 12 lakh, we discussed already. Now our question, if total income is more than 12 lakh, rebate is available under which concept, ma? Rebate under marginal relief. So you can understood what is the purpose behind giving this marginal relief under rebate also, you understood. Because he earned additionally 15,000. How can I pay the, how he can pay the 62,250 as an tax? So that's why they given the some steps. I will tell you, just don't copy it. Already we have step 1. This is only step 1. How much you earn more than 12 lakh? Tell me, what is the step 1? Total income minus how much, ma? 12 lakh. Whatever you earned more than 12 lakh, please write it down. How much, ma? 15,000. Step 2. What is that, ma? Step 2. This is only step 2. Calculate the income tax liability on the total income. We are not calculated tax liability, just we calculated the what? Income tax liability. Compute income tax liability. Income tax liability on total income. How much we got? 62,250 rupees. Sir, now SSC having burden or SSC having a benefit? First tell me, SSC having the burden or SSC having the benefit? Burden. How we can decide SSC having burden? Yes, step 3. If step 2 is more than step 1, definitely SSC having the burden. Because they are asking this amount. How much I earn more than 12 lakh? 15,000 only. Definitely SSC having burden. Now rebate is available. Direct rebate or rebate under marginal relief concept? Rebate under marginal relief concept. Simply step 2 minus step 1 only. What is that, ma? Rebate. Tell me, what is the difference between these two? 62,250 minus 15,000. Please calculate and tell me. 47,250. 250. 47,000. This is a rebate you can get. So generally you have to pay this, but while paying this, they are given the rebate of how much, ma? 47,250. Now we'll calculate. What is that? Income tax liability we got already. You know, already we calculated as per provisions, you have to pay 62,250. This you have to pay. But they given the rebate under which section, Amma? 156. Direct rebate or rebate under marginal relief? Rebate under marginal relief concept. How much rebate they given? 47,250. Are just you will get 15,000. This is only. Already we said. Are instead of paying this use amount, whatever I earn more than 12 lakh, I will give it to them only. But they will not accept just 15,000. Why last step in the tax computation we have to add what ma? Health and education says at the rate of 4%. How much ma? 600. Finally they will ask 15,600. Sir, when you need to get this idea, if your total income under default tax regime for resident individual is marginally more than 12 lakh. Understood this one, all of you? Okay, okay, just we can calculate. Just for your interest purposes only, I want to give Mr. Jedra total income. Just total income. Yes, ma. Total income is 15,50,000. How much, ma? 15,15,000. Sorry, 50,000. He is following the default tax regime under section 202. Sir, as an human being, definitely we can get it out. Sir, it is also marginally more than 12 lakhs, sir. How can I know whether it is marginally or not? Just you can follow the steps. Okay, just you can follow the what ma? Steps. So they will ask the tax liability. They will ask the what ma? Tax liability. You have to calculate. Sir, but here I haven't doubt whether he can get the rebate under marginal relief concept or not. So just you can perform the steps. Step 1 is what? Total income more than 12 lakh. Please tell me how much? 3 lakh? 3 lakh? 50,000. He earned the more than the how much? 12 lakh. Step 2, compute. Please compute income tax liability on what ma? Total income. Income tax liability on what ma? Total income. So tell me, okay, 0 to 4 lakh, nil, 4 lakh to 8 lakh, 5%, that is how much ma? 20,000. 8 lakh to 12 lakh, how much ma? 10%. 8 lakh to 12 lakh, it is an 10%. How much it will be? 40,000. Next, 12 lakh to 15 lakh 50,000. How much is there? 3 lakh 50,000. Okay, how much ma? 15%. Tell me how much? Sorry? 52,500. Total 1 lakh 12,500. Are you have to pay just 1 lakh 12,500. Yes, you have to pay just how much ma? 1 lakh 12,500. But you earned over the 12 lakh how much ma? 3 lakh 50,000. Now in this case, SSC having any burden? No. Then he is not eligible for the rebate under marginal relief concept. Step 3. Can you tell me here? Step, remember what is that flow we discussed? Step 2 is more than or less than ma? Less than. Are just you have to pay 1 lakh 12,000 change only. You have an already additional income in your hands. How much? 3 lakh 50,000. You don't have any burden. So that's why here no rebate under section 150. Simply, if you have any doubt, then you can perform these steps, then automatically you will get an idea. Clear up to now? Yes. Again, I will repeat the provision for you. Yes, if your total income is less than or equal to 12 lakh, directly you can get the rebate and rebate. If your total income is more than 12 lakh, Can you tell me unson more than or marginally more than? Marginally more than. Then how to calculate the rebate, sir? Step 1. Yes, total income minus 12 lakh. Sir, that is nothing but, okay, I can easily say in other words, sir, this is only SSC capability. This is only what? SSC capability. SSC capable to pay this much of tax only, right? Right. This is only SSC capability. How much I can pay the tax? Whatever I earn more than 12 lakh. But this is an whose expectation? Department expectation. If I am not at all reaching the department expectation, that is called as what? Department expectation. Can you tell me? If I am reaching, that's okay. If I am not reaching, definitely they will give what? Rebate. Clear? Please copy this stuff. Department expectation. So after giving the heading, just 156, please write this side only, because we discussed only rebate under which regime? Default tax regime. That's why you can complete this side first, then after we can start the rebate under which regime? Optional tax regime as well as normal tax regime. Clear? Or just write it on this side only, because we discussed the rebate for resident individual under which regime? Default tax regime. Direct rebate available, rebate under marginal relief concept also available. I think you know how to check these things in simple words. Yes, this is our capability to pay, but department expectation also we know. If you are not meeting the department expectation, they can give the rebate. Understood? SSC is capable to pay whatever he earn more than how much? 12 lakh. But exactly they are asking and they are expecting this. If you reach it under, if you are having the more amount than the department expectation, there is no rebate. If you are having less income than their expectation, then there is a concept of rebate under marginal relief. Clear? Okay, now copy చేస్తున్నారు స్లోగా చేయండి. We have 36 minutes more. Slowly you can copy. Sir, but if an SSC shifting out from the default tax regime, then also rebate is available. But what is the total income limit they given here? If total income does not exceed how much? 5 lakh. Okay. Sir, under this regime, please calculate tax liability on 5 lakh. Okay. Mr. Yes, having the total income 5 lakh exactly. Yes, ma. How much the 5 lakh? He is following the optional tax rate. Please calculate tax liability. Okay. Optional tax rate. Sir, here I'm not mentioning anything about the years. So that's why below 60 years. And you can calculate 0 to 2.5 lakh water nil and 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh. What is the rate? 5%. That means 2 lakh 50,000 into 5%. How much ma? 12,500. Clearly, they given the rebate under this section. What is that? 156. Rebate under section 156. They given income tax payable or how much ma? 12,500, whichever is lower. What is that? So now you can get the rebate of how much ma? 12,500. Ultimately, your tax is 0. Simply, I can say if an resident individual is following the 202 rates, what are the 202 rates? Default tax regime. Actually, what is that? Default tax regime. If he following the default tax regime under section 202, if his total income, remember, if his total income does not exceed 12 lakh, up to 12 lakh, simply there is no tax for you. Sir, why there is no tax? Because of rebate concept. Okay. If total income marginally more than how much ma? 12 lakh. Yes, marginally more than 12 lakh. Here rebate is there, but you can't say no tax. Because in the above example, marginally more than 12 lakh, here we have a zero tax or some tax is there. Some tax is there. Okay. But I can say, what is a tax also here? What is a tax also here? Can you tell me what is a tax? Simply excess income over 12 lakh, over 12 lakh plus what? Health and education. What is that amount you earn more than 12 lakh? 15,000. That is only finally you have to pay the tax plus health and education cess. Clear? Now, if you observe, if you are changing the regime, yes, that is what ma? Optional tax rate. What is that? Optional tax rate. If your total income less than or equal to 5 lakh, then there is no tax under which concept? Rebate concept. But whatever we discussed, the marginal relief related rebate is available or not available? Not available. That is available only in which regime? Default tax regime. Whatever we discussed, the rebate under marginal relief concept is available in which regime? Default tax regime under section 202. That is not available in the optional tax rate. Clearer? So that's why if you observed also, we ended this discussion this only. We don't have any concept of what ma? Rebate under marginal relief in the optional tax rates or not. Please copy this also. Okay. Salvira. Now next point. Very important point in the anti-rebate concept. So that we are going to discuss now. Whatever the rebate we discussed under the default tax regime. Listen carefully down your pens, sir. Okay. Whatever the rebate we discussed under default tax regime, that is not available with respect to the tax payable on these incomes. What are these incomes? Already we discussed. Special tax rate taxable incomes under capital gain chapter. These two, you know, already on the same set of three assets we can get. If the asset is short-term capital asset, if the asset is long-term capital asset, this section. What are the three capital assets we discussed? As in financial assets we discussed. Listed equity shares, units of equity oriented mutual fund, units of what ma? Business trust. Units of business trust. And next, this is also long-term capital gain other than these three assets. Simply they are saying that the rebate we can calculate if you calculate a tax liability by using the rates given in this section. Remember, the rebate we can give only incomes which are taxable under this section. Can you tell me what are the incomes are taxable by using these rates? Normal incomes. So that's why rebate also we can provide only with respect to the tax related to which incomes? Normal incomes. Here, these are the special incomes. This special incomes related tax payable, if anything is there, you have to pay. There is no rebate for it. Simple example I will say. I have an 7 lakh. I am following 202 regime only. That means default tax regime. I have an 7 lakh yes ma salary income and 5 lakh long term capital gain income. What is that ma? Long term capital gain income. Now with respect to this you can claim it as an what ma? Tax liability 0 because on salary income you can take the what rebate concept. But can I take this? But altogether I have an total income 12 lakh only, sir. But rebate available only on which incomes tax liability? Normal incomes. It is taxable under 202 rates or special rates? Special rates. That's why rebate available or not available? Not available. Again, I am repeating this point to all of you. This is only the targeted point for the next attempts. Okay. Whatever the tax liability you calculated by using 202 rates. What are the 202 rates? 0 to 4 lakh, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 20, 20 to 24. Above 24 we have an income. Yes, as well as rate also increased by what is the rate? 5%. By using the rates, if you calculated tax liability, against that you can claim the rebate. If you calculated tax liability by using the special tax rates, on the tax payable, you can't get any rebate under this regime. Coming to the next regime, what is the next regime? Optional tax regime. Here, rebate is not available only on this income tax payable. What is that income? Long-term capital gain under section 198. That means if any long-term capital asset is listed equity share, equity oriented mutual fund units, units of business trust, what is the tax rate? 12.5% in excess of 1,25,000. On this tax payable, you can't get rebate. That means, yes sir, means you can indirectly read under this regime, rebate is available on the long-term capital gain under section what ma 197, short-term capital gain under section what ma 196. Rebate is available. Not available against this income tax means the remaining special tax rate related you can have, get the what? So negative list here only one. Here negative list is how many? 3. If you read it perfectly, then only you can write. Otherwise, we can write in a reverse way also. Remember, under default tax regime, rebate is not available against the tax payable on these three incomes. Under optional tax regime, rebate is not available only on the long-term capital gain under section what ma 198. That means long-term capital gain under section 197, short-term capital gain under section 196, rebate is available in which regime? Optional regime. Optional tax. Now, what is the last step in the tax computation? Ma? Health and education says. Rebate required to be reduced from the income tax before adding what ma? Health and education says. Last step only we have to add health and education says. If you observe, that is only we discussed in every question. Rebate is reduced before adding the what? Health and education. Rebate always we are reducing before adding the health and education. Okay. Rebate always will be reduced from the income tax. After reduction of rebate, we have to add what ma? Health and education says. This is only you can get. First we reduce the rebate. At last we added the what ma? Health and education says. In health and education says concept also we written. Health and education says is an last step in the tax computation. Understood? That is only I written here. You can read. Rebate under section 156 shall be reduced from the income tax before adding the what? Health and education says. Then by using this also you can understood health and education says is an last step in the tax computation. Okay. Please write it down. These 2 points also. Yes, you can write this is under 202 regime. This is under optional tax regime. Last you can write it on this point. Then rebate concept is over. Then rebate concept is what? Kapida. Last point, whatever we discussed, the rebate is not available. Here we written the rebate is not available. The not available point under both the regimes is very important. Here they are saying not available against this income means indirectly available against others. Indirectly here rebate is available against what ma? Long-term capital gain under section 197, short-term capital gain under section 196. The rebate is available. Dana. So one more point we can discuss, then we can conclude for today. Okay. One more point. One more small point only. If it is copied. Copied? ఇప్పుడు అందరు కాపీడ్ అనే చెప్తారు. Copied? Copied? Okay, first we will revise the entire the discussions, then after we can discuss the last point. Okay. So in this session, especially we discussed the special tax rate. Then after we discussed the rebate. Special tax rate section number starting from the what? 194 ending with the 198. So now rebate also we discuss. Rebate is for only resident individuals. Okay. Next concept we have to discuss rounding off. So what is the section number they given ma? 516. Under Income Tax Act 2025, the rounding off provisions are given in 516. Listen carefully. So first we have to calculate income under different heads. If you aggregated that 5 heads of income after clubbing provisions effect, after set of provisions, you will get gross total income. From that, if you reduce chapter 8 deductions, you will get total income, right? The total income, first you have to rounding off as per section 516 provision. Total income, first you have to do what? Rounding off. Then after, tax payable if anything is there, or if you got any refund also, or if you paid any excess tax, department will give that amount as an what refund. That is also you should do rounding off as per 516. Previously, rounding off of the total income under 288A, yes, this is what 288B. Why we need to maintain the two separate section numbers for the same provision? They given instead of these two, they given 516 directly. What is that? 516. What they are saying? Sir, if you calculated income, yes ma, income I am saying. The same whatever we are going to discuss, that is applicable for payable or refund also. In these two stages, always we have to do the rounding off. Total income computation, tax payable or refundable. Okay. If you calculated income or tax payable, if you got paisas, that you should ignore directly. You should ignore what? Directly. Can you tell me here we got paisas, now we have to ignore it. Sir, here last digits 836 is there. So provision is saying that you should do rounding up to next multiples of 10. So rounding off not in hundreds, in tens only. Can you tell me what is the next multiple to 36? 40. Here, okay, not next, sorry, nearest multiple of 10. Sorry, what is that ma? Nearest multiple of 10. Can you tell me for 36, what is the nearest multiple of 10? 40. Here 33, what is the nearest? 30. Then 5 is there. 5 is nearest to next or lowest? So they clearly saying you should round it off to nearest multiple of 10. Okay, for 36 nearest multiple you can say proudly 40. Yes, 33 you should round it off to 30. But 5 35 is nearest to 40 or 30 equal distance are. How we can say nearest? Listen, in this 516 clearly they given the provision. Yes, 5 or more in the last digit, that should be rounded off to next multiple of 10. Suppose in the last digit 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. You should round it off to lowest. You should round it off to what ma? Lowest. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is there. Next multiple. Clear? Sir, in exam always they will give this only. In our workbook also after receiving you can see always last digit we will get 5 only. Why? They want to test this provision in clear way. Or anyhow, anyone can do rounding of these first two things. If they given 5, then only confusion will start. Remember, 5 or more if anything is in the last digit, that should be rounded off to what ma? Next multiple. Sir, 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. Then lowest multiple of 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is there. Next multiple of 10. Whatever the provision is same as it is for the tax payable as well as what ma? Refund. Clear? Please copy this sixth one, rounding off of. In every question, no one can say this point to you. Okay, if you got these last digits like this, in your question also, you have to change the rounding of points. I got total income, yes ma, like 2,88,836 ra. No, you can't calculate tax liability directly. First do rounding off, then after you have to calculate tax. Once you calculated total income, if that is not in the multiple of 10, you have to do rounding off first, then after you have to calculate tax liability. Every time total income, if you calculated, first you have to do rounding off, then after please calculate tax liability. Last tax liability we calculated, that is not in the multiples of 10, then do rounding off. Rounding off done in the process of tax computation 2 times. One is total income stage, last stage is what? Tax liability or tax refund stage. Understood all of you? Online especially. Both the things are covered in the same provision. What is the provision as per Income Tax Act 1961? 288A, 288B. Now 516. Now what is that? 516. Clear? Okay, in simple words, if you want to remember, 5 or more in the last digit, then we have to round it off to next multiple. Okay, if that is 1, 2, 3 is there, then we have to round it off to lowest multiple. But you can remember it as a nearest multiple. Nearest you will get confusion if they are given it as an what 5 in the last digit. Clear? Sir, in every question in our paper, definitely we have to round it off the both the things, total income as well as tax payable. That's why we are discussing this as an 6th point. Up to now, how many points we discussed in this chapter? 6. Tomorrow we can discuss the remaining things. Okay, same timetable. Thank you.